Welcome back, everyone. This is GTA Failer. In our last video, we tackled arms shortage and dropped off the tank right here at the import-export crane garage. And I was surprised to see that these spawn icons don't have the names on top of them, like police car and ambulance. I think we're going to walk around the back, like maybe we could see them from back there. It was kind of a silly attempt, but just figured I'd give it a shot. I think it was just a glitch because I had a save state down here and I guess I wasn't supposed to. So I think I'll just hop in this truck here and then drive 100 feet away and come back, and then the icons will be here, good as new. So the plan for this video is to redo the mission called Turismo. Remember, there was a mission giver in at the blue phone icon in Hepburn Heights in that park, and his name was El Burro, and he had four missions, and the first one was a race called Turismo, and that race featured some unique cheetahs, and I really want one of those cheetahs, and so we are going to do our darndest to get one of those cheetahs. Here, I think I used the time flies double speed code, and I wanted to see what would happen if I put a vehicle where the tank is going to get dropped, and you're going to see the tank has no hit detection for a little bit, but then once it does have hit detection, then it starts to interact with the truck in a physics way, and the truck explodes. Pretty cool. Okay, so the Turismo race you are able to do as many times as you want once you have completed all four El Burro missions, and so we're gonna do that El Turismo race in this video, and we're gonna see if we can't steal one of those special cheetahs. And the reason this is so challenging is that the cheetahs are locked and they're bulletproof and explosion proof and fireproof, and we cannot really reliably get the drivers out of those cheetahs. And so we're going to use a strat here that involves the tank. And the strat that I'm using here came from a video that I found on YouTube from the YouTuber Jam8Tone. That's Jam and then the digit 8 and then Tone. And I've included a link to their video below. And the first thing we're going to try to do is jam this tank into our safe house garage. And it was right around this moment when I realized how large the tank was and how small that garage was. There's an FBI car in here from before. We just have to get it out and then see if we can't shove this tank in there. No problem. Okay, so we could have stolen one of the fancy cheetahs from the Turismo race earlier, like as soon as we unlocked Turismo, the very first time we did Turismo, we could have stolen one of those cheetahs. It turns out it's quite a bit harder to do earlier and quite a bit easier with the tank. And let me tell you, I still had a lot of trouble, even with the easier version using the tank here. Here I'm fast forwarding because I'm stuck, and I think I'm going to try a grenade because that, like anytime I have a problem, I throw a grenade and then bam, different problem. So I think this is not going to end well for me, and I was hoping that I could speed up the process because every one of my attempts here took a long time. So let me explain the process. So you have to spawn a tank at the crane and then wait for the crane to slowly place the tank on the ground. Then you have to drive the slow tank to the phone in Hepburn Heights to start the mission. Then you start the mission and you drive the turtle-like tank from Hepburn Heights down to the starting line in South Chinatown. Once the race has started, you drive your sluggish tank to the road in front of the Portland Safe House. And then you sit in your slowpoke tank until roughly 100 seconds have elapsed since the start of the race. And then you try to get one of those racing cheetahs to explode by running into the tank. So the cheetahs are explosion proof for, like if you shoot a rocket at them, they don't care. If you hit them with a grenade, they don't care. But if they get hit by a tank or they run into a tank, they care and they explode. And then we're going to finally, once we've exploded one of the cheetahs near our safe house, then we're going to use the stupid tank to push the stupid cheetah into the stupid garage and hope the stupid cheetah doesn't stupid despawn during that stupid process. So in case you can't tell, I'm a little bit salty, and that step right there with the stupid pushing the cheetah into the stupid garage is why I'm salty, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Okay, so here I am. Starting Turismo, and then I'll make my way down to the starting line. I did use the double speed cheat code to speed things up, and I think that's what you're watching me do here. 7, 8. Well, maybe I don't have the cheat code on at this moment, but I had it on a lot of the time. But still, half of a long time is still a long time. And I did think I could shorten the process up by saving that tank in my garage, because then I wouldn't have to go down to Portland Docks every time and wait for the crane, and then do that long drive from Portland Docks to the mission start. but as you can see, I couldn't store the tank in my Portland garage. The tank is too big. Okay, I did have a couple of questions before I attempt to steal one of these cheetahs. First one is what happens if you try to blow up a cheetah with the ammo from the tank turret. So right now the turret is pointed behind me. So at some point here in this first attempt, this experiment, we'll shoot forward, rotate the turret forward just like that, and then see if these guys are immune to turret fire. And it turns out they are. And then I wondered what happens if you drive your tank into one of these vehicles while they're at the start line before the race has started. And it turns out you fail. But you did see the cheetahs all explode there. And so they are explosion proof, but not immune to getting blown up by the tank. Okay, in my first real attempt at trying to get a cheetah, I played like I went through the entire process at double speed, but then I'm gonna start the race here, and then I'm just gonna turn around and head right back to my safe house, again at double speed, and then I'm gonna turn the double speed code off after about 100 seconds have elapsed in the race, because that's when the cheetahs, the other drivers, typically get near my safe house, and so I wanted to play that in regular speed. Yeah, so here's the first attempt at it, and I'm going to tell you that I'm going to have several fails here because the cheetah just despawned. So some lessons I learned is that you really don't want to let the cheetah out of your sight after it's exploded, because it can just despawn. You want to try to sort of reduce how much time you spend like pushing into the cheetah, either by hand or with the tank. And ultimately, I think I decided I really should not be getting out of the tank at all, just because that often leads to losing sight of the cheetah. So we're just going to show you some failed attempts here. And while we do, we'll read a bit more about Phil Cassidy. Remember, Phil was the guy we met in the last mission, the one missing the arm at the northern spot in Staunton. Okay, so reading from the wiki here while I try to blow up and then push one of these cheetahs into my safe house garage. Phil presents himself as a military veteran and regularly discusses his experiences, including claims of having flashbacks to the Vietnam War. However, in Vice City, Cam Jones claims that Phil was never in the Army, and Phil's records show that he was repeatedly refused for service due to, quote, drunkenness and unsuitable temperament for combat. I can't believe it. That doesn't describe the Phil I remember from Vice City at all. Phil has been featured as a heavy drinker. He distills boomshine, a highly explosive mixture that can get a man drunk off its fumes alone, which he started distilling and selling in Vice City around 1984. During a phone conversation with Tommy Vercetti, he explains that due to his heavy boomshine consumption, he is blind in his left eye. Phil's most notable feature is, all right, so here, one other thing I should say about this thing is that you really don't want to push the cheetah into the garage until after the race has ended, because apparently even if it's in the garage safely and the garage door is closed, if the race hasn't ended yet, the garage might eat your precious cheetah. Okay, so here I've lost the race. This is perfect. All I have to do is push this thing in and then win. And instead, I ended up spending like another 45 minutes of my life because the game hates me. Why? Why do you hate me, game? Okay, so this is going to be the last time that I show you me waiting for the crane, but I just want you to remember that every one of these attempts features a massive cut where I wait for the crane and then do all the long, slow tank driving that I mentioned before. Even in double speed, it still took a long time. Okay, from the wiki, Phil's most notable feature is his one arm. He lost his left arm in 1986 after he was caught in the blast radius of a boomshine bomb during the events of Vice City. His subsequent appearances also depict him with only one arm. In Vice City stories, Phil is sporting a handlebar mustache. He must have shaved it off between 1984 and 1986 because he doesn't have the mustache in the handlebar mustache in Vice City. One little glitch, or not glitch, oversight, I guess I should say, is that well, so first of all, Phil lied when he said that he lost his arm in Nicaragua, because we saw him lose his arm in an alcohol-related accident in Vice City. Additionally, in that cutscene in Vice City where Phil loses his arm in the mission Boom Shine Saigon, it's clearly his right arm that gets blown off in the cutscene, but then after the cutscene, it's his left arm that's missing, and everywhere else it's his left arm that's missing. So it was just the one oversight. It's his left arm missing in this game as well. but just the one oversight of blowing off the wrong arm during the cutscene. So here the Diablos just decided to harass me just to make this tougher. All right, reading from the wiki, Phil has businesses in each of the four games, actually five games he appears in. So in GTA 3, his business is called Phil's Army Surplus. In Vice City, he has a location called Phil's Place. It's in Little Haiti. In Staunton Island in Liberty City Stories, he's got Phil Cassidy's Fully Cocked Gun Shop. That's in Bedford Point. In Vice City Stories, it's called Phil's Depot in Viceport. And then you can see there the cheetah just despawning because I lost sight of it for a moment. And then Phil Cassidy also appears in Manhunt, another Rockstar game, and his business there is called Cassidy's Bargain Firearms Emporium in Carcer City. Excellent. All right, I think this attempt was really had no chance from the beginning. Not only do I have all this wanted attention, but all three of the other racers are out of commission. Like I blew up two of them, and one of them just flipped on his own. Like I mentioned, it's not really a good idea to put the blown up cheetah into the garage until you've lost the race, and I can't lose the race because there's nobody else racing right now. Phil only appears in the one mission we saw him in the last video, Arms Shortage. In this game, in Vice City, he appears in 5 different missions. He's the boss in 2 of them. In Liberty City Stories, he appears in 1 mission. In Vice City Stories, he appears in, let's see, 4, 8, 9 missions. And by virtue of being in 4 different games, Phil is actually in pretty rare company. Oh, here my tank despawned. And then the cheetahs are about to despawn as well, all 3 of them. Again, you just have to like lose sight of it for a moment and bye-bye. So the one that's supposed to be in front of me is gone. The one that's supposed to be in front of me now is gone. And then there's one north of me, supposed to be north of me on this road, the one that flipped over on his own. I'm still desperately looking for these things. And gone. Everything gone. Phil is one of just 3 characters to appear in 4 different GTA games. The other 2 are Johnny Klebitz and Tony Prince, not counting some radio DJs who appear in multiple GTA games. And then the record for appearing in GTA games is 5, and that's by Patrick McCreary. 5 GTA games. Good job, Patrick. All right, I think, one last thing. In Vice City, in the original trilogy version of Vice City, a Confederate flag can be seen on Phil's muscle shirt, but in the definitive edition of Vice City, the flag has been changed to a skull. All right, so I think that's about all there is to say about Phil Cassidy. And here we are in fast forward, just repeatedly trying to push this cheetah into the garage door, into the garage, I should say. One thing I realized is I should just never get out of the tank. It's just a bad idea because getting back into the tank, I don't have control over the camera the whole time. And just like that, despawn because I lost sight of the cheetah for a moment. Rough, oh, so rough out here. All right, moving right along. Let's talk a bit about Ray Machowski. He's the person who gave us the last few missions of this play series, and he'll give us the next few as well. I don't remember what I've read about Ray from the wiki in a previous video here. Kind of losing my mind. So let's just start from the beginning at the in the wiki. So Ray appears as a main character in GTA 3, a minor character in Liberty City Stories. He's a corrupt police officer working with Asuka and Kenji Kassen, the co-leaders of the Yakuza. In GTA 3, Ray is voiced by the late Robert Loggia, who also appeared in Scarface, and then in Liberty City Stories, Ray is voiced by, Peter Appel, Appael, who had some other speaking roles in GTA Land. All right, so here I'm just trying to get this thing. I really should have used the tank to push this thing in instead of trying to get out and push it by just on foot, because the garage door won't open. And then just like that, despawn. It turned around for a second and despawns. Like the garage door will open if I'm in the tank and close to the garage door, but on foot it closes before I'm able to like really push the vehicle in. But we just keep on trying. Okay. Coming back to the wiki, although very little is known about Ray's early life, it's known that he served in the military, presumably alongside Phil Cassidy. After serving in the military, he joined the Liberty City Police Department and was teamed with corrupt officer Leon McCaffrey. So we saw Leon. He was the guy that we smoked out by throwing a grenade up into that open window. And McCaffrey is the one who introduced Ray to Tony Cipriani. Ray Machowski was reluctant to work with criminal elements at first, but at some point prior to 2001, he changed his attitude and began working as an informant for Asuka and Kenji. And then in 2001, we've seen all of the stuff that's happened with Ray, and there's more stuff coming in the story, but I don't need to read it here. We'll see it in the coming videos. And in GTA 3, come on, it's so close, gang. It's so close. And it disappears. The issue there is that I just backed up the tank too much. If I hadn't backed up as much, the camera wouldn't have rotated around as much as it did. So, like, if I had to do this over again, and believe you me, I'm not doing this over again. If I had to do it over again, I think I could do it much better by staying in the tank and making small movements with the tank and really, really trying not to let the blown up cheetah out of my sight. Okay, so Ray is going to appear in GTA 3 in a total of 7 missions, and then in Liberty City Stories, 2 missions. Pretty cool. Okay, and then just a little bit of trivia from the wiki. It says Ray's artwork appears on the disc for the PS2 version of Liberty City Stories, like a picture, a drawing of Ray. And then finally, Machowski is a Polish surname, which means he is most likely of Polish descent. Alrighty. Okay, and again, I see that I'm out of my vehicle, which is bad news. Also, I was reluctant to touch the adrenaline pill there just because I don't want to drag this out any longer. But no worries, the cheetahs just disappeared. Okay, so we keep on keeping on. I think, gang, I think this is my final attempt at this. That is my fervent hope. So as we watch me totally own pushing this cheetah into my garage. Let me read a little bit more from the wiki. This time we'll read about the person who does the voice acting for Ray Machowski. And as I mentioned, that's Robert Loggia, or maybe it's Loggia, I'm not sure. So reading from the wiki, it says Robert Loggia, born Salvatore Loggia, in 1930 in Staten Island, New York, passed away in 2015, was an Italian-American actor, director, voice actor, and former radio and TV anchor. Loggia appeared in a whole bunch of films here. Scarface, Independence Day. Oh, right, I remember him in Independence Day. Forgotten about that. Revenge of the Pink Panther, Curse of the Pink Panther, Trail of the Pink Panther. All right, he's all about the Pink Panthers. He also appeared in a bunch of TV shows. I won't list them all, but Vegas, Wonder Woman, Magnum P.I., Sopranos, Family Guy, Hawaii Five-0, and Malcolm in the Middle. And then it says in addition to voicing Ray Machowski in this game, he provided narration for the video game Scarface, The World Is Yours, which also starred some other GTA actors such as Robert Davi, James Woods, Ice-T, Michael Rappaport, and Ricky Gervais. Ricky Gervais was in a GTA game? Holy cow, gang, we're learning stuff. Ricky Gervais appears as himself in GTA 4. What? Apparently I didn't get far enough in GTA 4. I had no idea Ricky Gervais was in there. All right, here I'm desperately hoping the cheetah doesn't disappear when I get in the car and the camera flicks for a second, but it didn't, so we're good. And then we shove it in there, and then we cross our fingers, please, please, please. And I see that message at the top, says you can't store any more vehicles in here. And I was like, I think that's the one. Okay, so here I'm just going to straighten this out. Put it back in the garage, beautiful, and then we're going to save, and then I'm going to show you the different proofs that this vehicle has, but I think we're also going to shake the camera because we are darn excited. I think that took about 50 minutes, 50 minutes in real time. Alrighty, yeah, Ricky Gervais appears in GTA 4. I got to play some more of that game. I only played like the first, I don't know, 5-10% of the game or something. It was good, but I just didn't have time in my life at that time. So we'll get back into it one day. All right, so as I mentioned, these cheetahs are bulletproof. So here's some bullets for you, cheetah. And the cheetahs are explosion-proof from rockets and from grenades. And we'll demonstrate both of the, oh, I guess we're doing fire first. Okay, so there's the flamethrower. And you see it doesn't even like temporarily catch on fire before going out. It just doesn't catch on fire at all. And not from the flamethrower, not from the Molotov. And then we're going to show the explosion proofness by hitting it with a rocket and also with a grenade. And it could not care less about either of those things. But as we saw, it's not explosion proof from when it hits a tank or gets hit by a tank. So pretty cool. We've got one of these things here, and we're just gonna shove it back in the garage for safekeeping. It's also a unique color. I don't know what the color is. It looks kind of silvery-ish to me. But this is not a color you can get on any cheetah anywhere else in the game. And now it's all mine. Excellent, excellent. Okay, so the final task for this video is to take this tank and shove it into the Staunton garage. So we're going to make this trip through the tunnel in quadruple speed. It's a easy trip now. It's not stressful like the last time we tried driving a tank from Staunton to Portland because that tank was not explosion proof, whereas this one is. So we're going to bring it over to our garage and put it in there for safekeeping, and I think we're going to probably use this tank to have some experiments and have some fun with some future missions. I have never ever had a tank anywhere near this early in the game, so I'm looking forward to seeing what fun stuff we can do with it. But first, we got to find a home for it. So remember that there's 2 bulletproof vehicles in the Staunton the Staunton garage already. And I was thinking this might fit in between them, and it's not even close. Not even close. Holy cow. I underestimated how big this tank is. So we've got the bulletproof Barracks OL and the bulletproof Securicar. And I fast forward through my attempts at playing like vehicle Tetris here in the garage, trying to like rotate this thing 90 degrees. But I couldn't get out, so I'm rotated 90 degrees, pointing the other direction. So I could get out, and I was hoping to really kind of jam it in there with the Securicar so that the Barracks OL was like really flush against that back wall, but it's too big. And so then I think I'm realizing that I need to give up one of these vehicles, and we've had the Securicar for a while, and I think it's time to move on. So we're going all in on the Barracks OL and the Rhino. And we're going to say so long to this Securicar. It served us well. Actually, it didn't do anything for us. It just took up space. Okay, but we've got our 2 vehicles there, and then I think we're going to say so long to the Securicar. And again, I don't know why the garage door doesn't close until you get into another vehicle, but there we go. We've got bulletproof Barracks OL, and then regular Rhino tank, bulletproof and explosion proof. And then we're going to send the Securicar off to the Rainbow Bridge for vehicles. And here I remembered that this Securicar was bulletproof, so we need to explode it to send it to the Rainbow Bridge. Good job, Securicar. You served us well. And I think that's about it for this video. We're going to pick up right here next time with the next Ray mission. We're just going to save a couple of times to get it to be daylight. And thank you so much for watching. We'll see you real soon.